Hey guys, today's question is longest subarray with maximum bitwise end. In this question, we are given with a vector or array of nums, integer values, and we have to calculate the maximum possible bitwise end of any non-empty subarray. And we have to take the longest such subarray and return the length of the subarray. So for example, in this given example 1 2 3 3 2, the longest subarray with the maximum end is this subarray. End of 3 and 3 will be 3. So the output is 2, the length of this subarray. In this example, we can see the maximum value of AND can be 4. If we take AND of 4 with any of these values, it will return a smaller value only. So the output is 1 only. And what we can simply notice is, like for this example, if we take 15 and 10 and take AND of these two values, it will always result in a smaller value. As we can see, the end of 1 1 is 1, end of 1 and 0 is 0, end of 1 1 is again 1, and this is 0. So it is a smaller value. It will always be smaller value. It won't be the value greater, because any of the bit in the smaller value will not be 1 in the which will be 1 in the greater value, but it will be 0 in smaller value. There must be a single bit there, and the AND, as we know, if the any of bit is 0, the AND result will be always be 0. That's why we can see, if we AND any value with a smaller value, it will always return in a smaller value. For example, like if we see this example, why we took this subarray, because if we took these three subarrays, the end of 3 3 is 3 only, like. And now let's calculate the end of 3 and 2. What will happen? The end of, let's see, the binary representation of 3 is 1 1, and binary representation of 2 is 1 0. Now if we take AND of these two values, for 1 1 AND will 1, and for 1 0 AND will 0. As you can again see, because of this change in the bit, which is 0 here, the output is always smaller value. Okay, so output won't be the larger value in any case. So what we can conclude from these statements, that we, as in the question, we have to return the maximum possible subarray, and after that we have to calculate the longest subarray. So we know that the subarray that we will take will always include the maximum value. Like for in the example, the 3 was maximum value, so the subarray included this value, and for this example, subarray included this value. To get the maximum AND, we have to take AND of maximum value with the maximum values only. If we take any of left or right value, it will always, the AND of that value will always be lesser. So we can conclude that we have to take the maximum value and count the number of values that are adjacently to the left or right in the, that are the maximum values only. Okay, so like in the example, continuously two values are maximums, 3 and 3. In example, the 4 is only here. Like for another example, if the array was like let's say 9 9 9 0 1 2 and 8 9, here we can see the 9 is the largest value, and the output will be 3 here, because it is the maximum subarray that we can take. Okay, this is the maximum subarray we can take. So what we can conclude, we have to take the largest value, and we have to count the number of times it is repeating adjacently to itself. Okay, so let's simply code for that. Let's take a maximum value. Initially, let's take it as the first value, so num0, and we also have to calculate the length. So let's take length as 1. Initially, the first value is included in the length. Now let's simply run a loop from starting to end. So for int I equals to, we have to take loop from the 1, because we already included the first element. Now I less than nums dot size I plus. Now we have two cases. If the current value is bigger than the previous maximum values, then we have to update the maximum value only, and we have to update the length as 1, of course. So simply write, if the current value is bigger than the previous max value, that means we got a new max value, and so the length of that value will be 1. So maxi equals to nums of I, and length will be updated to 1. Okay, now another case can be if the current value is same as the previous value. For example, this 3, it was the maximum value and it was also same as the previous value. In that case we have to increment the length. So for this case, if nums of I minus 1, that the previous value was also, first we have to check if the current value is maximum or not. So if nums I double equals to maxi, then we can check if nums of I minus 1, the previous value, was also the same value. That means we have found the two values in a row, so we have to increment that length. So simply increment length, and in the else case, if the current value is different value, so then the length will be updated to 1. I mean not different value. For example, I'm talking about this case. If AR was like something 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 2. We took these two lengths, take it as maximum length. After that, if we again reach, let's take these values as 1 only. We have taken the maximum value because let's change the example. Now we took these two values. Now if we again found these two, this will not include in the length, so we have treated length as 1 if nums I minus 1 is not equals to nums of I. Okay, that means it's not the continuous part. Now another thing, if we found the value again, then we have to increment the max length only. Okay, so for example, let's first I submit, then you can see what will happen. Okay, I forgot to return. This code will give an error in a case. Let's see. Sorry, max length. We have to take max length after this. After this code gives error. So I have to show this one, like in this example, in this case where our code is giving error, we took the max length, we took the length as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now when the value comes again, if nums I double equals to maxi, this condition is true, but this condition is not true, so the length will be updated to 1 again by our code. But the length should not be updated to 1, but I mean the length should be updated to 1, but we also have to care about the maximum length that we measured before. Okay, so we have to take another variable for this case. Let's name it as maximum length. Initially the maximum length will be 1 only. Now if we are updating length, we have also to update the max length. That means if we found a new element, a greater element, and in this case when we are incrementing the length, if the current length is greater than the previous maximum length, that we found a greater max length, then we have to increment the max length, otherwise we won't change it. So max length plus plus, and here we won't change it. After that we will simply return the maximum length. Okay, now we can run this. Okay, let's submit. So the code is accepted. Thank you for watching.